How did ancient Egyptians build the pyramids? Look at this. A single stone in the Great Pyramid can weigh as much as 2 elephants, and some of the granite blocks inside the pyramid weigh more than 70 tons. Now here's the unbelievable part. The Great Pyramid contains around 2.3 million stone blocks. Let that sink in for a second. No cranes. No bulldozers. No trucks. No steel machines. In fact, they didn't even use the wheel to transport these massive stones. So here's the question that has fascinated people for thousands of years. How on earth did they build it? Because honestly, if someone came to you today and said, "Let's move 2 million giant rocks by hand," you'd probably laugh and walk away. For centuries, people have come up with every explanation imaginable. Some say aliens built the pyramids. Others believe a lost super civilization left behind advanced technology, or even that time travelers somehow helped. After all, the achievement seems almost impossible. But here's the surprising part. The real answer may be even more impressive than any science fiction story. Imagine you're an Egyptian worker living about 4,500 years ago. Your boss doesn't send you an email. He doesn't schedule a Zoom meeting. He simply points at a giant limestone block and says, "Move it." You stare at the stone. The stone seems to stare back. Neither of you looks like you're moving anytime soon. So how did they actually do it? Instead of trying to lift these enormous stones, they found a smarter solution. Workers placed the blocks on large wooden sleds and dragged them across the ground. But dragging giant rocks through soft desert sand sounds almost impossible, until you discover one clever trick. They poured water onto the sand in front of the sled. It sounds strange, doesn't it? Wouldn't that just create mud? Surprisingly, no. Dry sand is loose, causing the sled to sink and creating much more resistance. Slightly wet sand becomes firmer, reducing friction enough that hundreds of workers could pull stones weighing several tons with far less effort. Sometimes, one simple idea can change the course of history. But moving the stones across the desert was only half the challenge. They still had to lift them higher and higher until they formed a pyramid nearly 150 meters tall. So how did they accomplish that? This is where the mystery becomes even more fascinating. Most archaeologists believe the Egyptians built enormous ramps. Some think the ramps stretched straight upward. Others believe they wrapped around the pyramid like a giant spiral. Another theory suggests there may even have been hidden internal ramps built inside the pyramid itself. The truth is, nobody knows for certain, because the ramps disappeared thousands of years ago, leaving behind only clues for modern scientists to piece together. Now here's something even more astonishing. The Great Pyramid isn't just enormous, it's incredibly precise. Its 4 sides point almost perfectly toward north, south, east, and west. The base is so level that the difference between its corners is only a few centimeters. Imagine trying to build something that accurate today without GPS, lasers, computers, or modern measuring equipment. Somehow, ancient Egyptian engineers managed to do exactly that over 4,000 years ago. And despite what movies often show, modern archaeological discoveries suggest the pyramids were not built by endless lines of slaves being whipped through the desert. Many of the workers were skilled laborers. They received food, medical care, and lived in purpose-built villages near the construction site. Building the pyramid wasn't simply hard labor. It was one of the largest engineering and organizational projects the ancient world had ever seen. So, did the Egyptians possess secret technology? Probably not. What they had was something even more powerful: brilliant planning, simple machines, patience, extraordinary engineering knowledge, and tens of thousands of people working together toward a single goal. History has shown again and again that when enough people cooperate with a clear purpose, even the impossible begins to look possible. The Great Pyramid has now stood for more than 4,500 years. Empires have risen and fallen. Languages have disappeared. Entire civilizations have vanished. Yet those massive stones remain exactly where ancient builders placed them, silently asking every visitor the same question. If people armed with nothing more than ropes, wood, water, determination, and teamwork could build something that has survived for thousands of years, what could humanity build today if we worked together with the same vision? Maybe the greatest mystery of the pyramids isn't how they were built. Maybe it's how human beings were able to dream that big in the first place.